Afghanistan has been ripped apart by war, but now parts of it are being transformed. For some kids, life is the same as it would have been hundreds of years ago. For others, it's the same as it is for kids anywhere. All of them love their country and are dreaming of a better future. Join me as I meet the children of Kabul. Like footy fans across the world, these guys know who they think is best.
Ronaldinho.
Well, almost.
Ronaldinho.
Cristiano Ronaldinho. Rooney.
And they all dream of making it to the top.
Cristiano. Kaka. Peter Cech.
I want to be a football player. I want to be as good as Rooney.
Faisal is 13 and a massive Manchester United fan, but he doesn't have a TV. He's only seen games on tellies in shop windows.
Because we don't have peace in Afghanistan, we can't have a proper education or do proper football.
For these kids, this kickabout is the only break from work they'll get today.
There are 9 people in my family. I don't go to school. During the day I wash cars in the street.
My work is shoe polishing. I start at midday and work until 7. If I do not work, we would die of starvation because no one is helping us.
They're only teenagers, but they've had to grow up fast. The war has meant that they're the only members of their families that are able to work. Afghanistan's been at war for 30 years. Britain and America invaded the country almost 10 years ago. They wanted to remove the Taliban from power because they thought they were protecting terrorists who had attacked America. Before that, Afghanistan had suffered 20 years of continuous fighting. 10 years ago, Kabul was a real mess. Years of being on the front line meant many buildings were damaged or destroyed, and there were hardly any cars on the streets. Looking at those pictures, Kabul looks so different now, mainly because more people live here, so the city has had to expand into the surrounding hills. There are new buildings going up everywhere, more cars on the roads than ever before. So much traffic, you can taste the pollution. Lots of this is because millions of Afghans who left the country when the fighting was at its worst have returned in the last decade. And they've brought back new ideas which are transforming kids' lives in this city. When the Taliban were in charge, thousands of Afghans fled the country. Many of them went across the border to Pakistan, and it's there in the refugee camps that some of them learned how to play the game of cricket. In Pakistan, cricket is massive, but in Afghanistan, it had never been played until now.
When we came here, people were scared to send their daughters to play cricket. But they look to us and they see that we're not afraid of the society that is against us, and they believed in us.
Raiz Ahmadzai is a bit of a celebrity here. He grew up in a refugee camp in Pakistan and learnt to play cricket using a ball made of old clothes and a branch for a bat.
We played without shoes, without grass, and we played in very hard ground. When we came to play it in the green grass, that looks for us very easy cricket.
Yeah. When he came to Kabul, he helped set up Afghanistan's first ever national cricket team and has played around the world. Now he's helping girls learn the sport. What's going on here is a really big deal. Under the Taliban, girls could never have taken part in this camp. And in Afghanistan, sport has always been a boys' thing. 17-year-old Farnaz and her younger sister Rabina learnt cricket in Pakistan too. For them, this is about much more than just sport.
Now they're sending their children with us to play cricket. These events from other countries will help people to open up society and to not be afraid to do what they want to do.
Farnaz and Rabina are unusual. For most girls, growing up in Afghanistan is a totally different experience to growing up in Britain. If you're an Afghan girl, as you get older, instead of going out more and doing stuff on your own, you're expected to spend more time at home. Shima is 13. She makes money ironing clothes for other people.
When I was 9, it was much easier to go out. But now I'm 13. I have to ask permission. I can't go alone. Someone should accompany me when I'm going out. The situation has changed and it's not good for me to go out now.
This is a traditional house in Kabul. There's no running water. It comes from a pump in the garden. Mariam and her sister Freshta live here along with 9 other members of their family. Mariam is 13. She and Freshta spend most of their time weaving carpets. It's difficult, repetitive work. They make 2 carpets a year and about £40 a month, which has to support the whole family. They've been doing this every day for 6 years. They told me it's all they know how to do.
We have financial problems. My father is sick and I don't know how long we will be weaving carpets for in the future.
Mariam and Freshta opened my eyes to the fact that for many kids, life is the same here as it's been for centuries. Children have always worked in Afghanistan. For many, their lives are untouched by all the change going on around them.
This whole area is full of kids who work every day to help out their families. Some of them started when they were just 5.
Like the girls who spend their days weaving carpets, Yunus and Razia also work. Yunus sells candles every day on his dad's stall, but he hardly makes any money. He does it because his dad is blind and can't make enough for the family on his own.
I work because my mother tells me go to work to bring food for the dinner for the family.
Razia is 9. 6 months ago, she started working for the family bakery.
When I wake up, I say good morning to my parents. I wash my face, have breakfast and carry bread for half an hour to the family bread shop. Then I go to school.
Yunus and Razia don't want to spend their whole lives selling bread and candles, and that's why they're making sure they get an education too. More kids are going to school than ever before in the country's history. Across Afghanistan, one of the most important tasks for international troops is to rebuild and reopen schools. Here, on the front line of the fighting, only boys are getting an education. Schools can still be targets for attacks by the Taliban. Back in Kabul, Yunus told me he wants to be a doctor, and that's why going to school matters to him.
I prefer school to work because I want to learn and it's good for my future.
Looking around Kabul at all the new buildings and schools, it's easy to understand why he's optimistic about the future. But the fact is, growing up here is incredibly hard. This is the second poorest country in the world. 1 out of every 4 children born in Afghanistan will die before they're 5, and only half of all children ever get to go to school.
All the kids I've spoken to here in Kabul have been really keen to tell me just how proud they are to be Afghan, even though this is a very tough place to grow up.
I want to stay here in Afghanistan and help build my country to make other countries surprised.
I want there to be jobs in Kabul and people to be happy.
I want to be a person that can help my country, which has suffered from 30 years of war. I want my country to be peaceful.
When we came here, we decided to do something for Afghanistan. We came across difficulties, but we kept going.
I've been on an amazing journey in Afghanistan. I've seen up close how hard kids' lives can be in a country that's been ripped apart by war. But I've also been inspired by the incredible optimism of the children I've met and their belief that Afghanistan will one day be a normal, peaceful country to live in.